We'll do it live! We'll do it live! Just forget it. Darn thing sucks. Okay. And now we're here. We're going to play us. Sting is going to play us. There's no words there. There's no words. What's that mean? Play us out? All right, go. Okay, folks. Well, that's for us, and I can't do it. I can't. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Okay, Boozhoo, and welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, the live stream about OJIBWE language and culture. You like that? Are you doing Bill O'Reilly? Yeah. Remember that old Bill O'Reilly where he just freaks out when he gets confused trying to read the teleprompter and he swears and everything. and then it like cuts away and he tears off his microphone and just throws it. We'll do it live. So take it easy, dude. Nobody cares about Sting. You'll remember me when the west wind moves upon. He was acting really dud. Really ugly, huh, sweetie? Yeah, he was. Which brings us to our OJIBWE word of the day. Dud. Ugly. Mika wadud. Beautiful. Yesterday we were talking about art. And you can't talk about art without talking about beautiful and ugly. Well, the thing about art is to talk about art is to talk about truth. And that's why it's such a crime when they grapple the when they try to tell us that which is ugly is beautiful and that which is beautiful is ugly. They invert it. You go look at this thing. It's just this ugly, offensive thing. Oh, it's art. It's like, no, that's gross. You can't tell me. Oh, I don't know. So anyway, kind of ahead of myself. How you guys doing? Boozhoo. Welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo. We're a little live stream podcast about OJIBWE language and culture. And my name is Nanaboozhoo. And with me today, as she is every day, the lovely and talented Natasha. Boozhoo, everybody! And yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about OJIBWE language and culture. And we might take some calls. And I don't know. What is it, a Tuesday? It's Nijo Gija Good. It is the second day of the week. Nijo Gija Good. And let's see, we're filming on, March 30th? It is the 30th day of March. So yeah. Should I say a prayer before we start? Wouldn't hurt. Okay, I'll just say a quick one. Get your manado. Yeah, what you want, son? No, I'm just saying a prayer. Oh, right. Why do I always think you're just talking to me? Well, I guess that's what a prayer is. Ladies and gentlemen, get your manado. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I was going to pray. I'm going to ask you to help me speak well today. All right, then, get on with it. Get your manado. Great spirit. Daga widuka wishin. Please help me. Daga widuka wishin. Minaway nungom. To speak well today. Miigwech bamadazian. Miigwech ka iji bamadazian. Thank you for my life. And apenge. Amen. Amen. Get your manado. All right. What you want then? Well, I just told you. Please help me speak well. You want me to grant you a wish, is that it? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. All right, I'll do my best. But you're going to have to try on your own, I can't just hand out wishes like that. Yeah, I don't suppose you do, huh? All right. So anyway, that's a little Ojibwe prayer where you can ask the Great Spirit. Normally, Ojibwe people would put out tobacco, but I'm sitting inside and it's raining outside, so I didn't want to, I mean, I guess I could. You think I should put out some tobacco? Yeah, just do it real quick. All right. The sun isn't up yet, so I'm going to put out my tobacco. Sweetie, would you teleport me outside? Sure. Teleporting in 3, 2, 1. So he's outside right now. He's just going to put a little tobacco in the tree. Hey, Jim's here. Boozhoo, Jim. All right. I'm looking at him outside the window. Looks like he's done. Okay, he's waving himself back in. Hey, thanks, sweetie. No problem. So, yeah, I just put out some tobacco. I'm real traditional that way. I do things the old ways, except I use a teleporter. Sometimes it's okay to incorporate the new ways in with the traditional ways. A lot of people will be like, oh man, you're not supposed to do that. That's not the traditional way. As Anishinaabe people, we never use teleporters. That is not our way. Well, you know what? Sometimes in the traditional way, we adapted. It's not like when the French fur traders traded us some rifles that we said, no, thank you. I got a bow and arrow. I don't need your new ways. No, they said, yeah, sure. Here, take some beaver pelts. I'm going to go hunting with this rifle. And we picked up the white man's ways. There's nothing wrong with that. What's going on with this show? What do you mean? Well, yesterday I'm talking about Hitler's art. Now I'm talking about how good it is to co-opt the white man's culture. You look at those old pictures of the Indian guys, the elders, crazy horse in them. Or not crazy horse, but like Sitting Bull. And they're like wearing white man's trousers. Or they might be wearing like buckskin pants, but then they'll have like a nice blazer on. They traded in their headdress for like a top hat. These Indian guys, as soon as they found like white man culture, they're like, hey, sweet, I like that. Where'd you get that jacket? I'll trade you my knife for it. Or better yet, where'd you get that knife? We called the white people chamokaman, long knives. We called them long knives because they had these great swords. And it's not like, the elders were like, hey man, that's not our way. No, thank you. I have a fish bone, and that suits me just fine. It is the Anishinaabe way to clean your fish with a fish bone. Now, as soon as we met the long knives, we were like, oh, wow, that's a great knife you have. From now on, we will refer to you only as the great knife. We were like, yeah, man, bring it over. People forget that part of history. Hey, there's Jessica Gonzalez. Boozhoo, Jessica. How you doing? Jessica's here, sweetie. Boozhoo, Jessica. Oh. We're just talking about how awesome white people are with their Hitler paintings and their long swords and the co-opting of the European culture. Some people they credit the Renaissance of Indian art to the French, because the French gave us glass beads. Before the French came over, all our beadwork was done by, it wasn't even called beadwork. It was all done by porcupine quill. And, porcupine quill is really cool looking. You can make some cool stuff with porcupine quill. But what a drag to have to sew with porcupines. What a drag to have to get your porcupine quills. These guys were hunting porcupines so they could make cool jewelry and that. So as soon as the French people said, what? No, check this out. We got beads. We got little glass beads. What would you Indians do with this? Then we started beating up our moccasins and everything in sight. And that's when we came up with the floral patterns and all the geometric stuff they do down in the Southwest. And, Indian art exploded. And also, when we got the gun, when we didn't have to spend all day hunting down a buffalo, we could just get up in the morning, load the gun, kill a deer or whatever, and be done with it for the day. That's when artists had all the time to master the different artworks. So people are like, oh yeah, I love the Indian flute. Well, there wasn't much time for making flutes and carving wood when we had to hunt all day. We got good at stuff after, the conveniences of the European world were introduced to the Indians. So, I, for one, would just like to send a big miigwech to all the Chamokaman wug. I'm tired of hearing everybody complain about, oh, it's all the white man's fault. Well, you're okay with me, guys. Anyway. Oh, Jessica says, Boozhoo, Natasha. Yeah. So, Manadad, ugly. You know what's ugly? Racism. Either way. That's ugly. And Mikawadad. It is beautiful. You know what else is beautiful? Norwegian girls. When the Finlanders came over, history records all the battles between the Indians and the whites. But there came that day when the British or the French, patriarchy, colonizers locked eyes with some Anishinaabe. And they were like, what are we doing, man? Just got lost in their eyes. In all our fighting and all the racism, we forgot. I almost didn't notice how beautiful you were. No. Oh. And that's when the term snag was invented. When you could snag a girl at the powwow. The French fur traders, they snagged up our women. Because they thought they were mikwadad. They thought they were beautiful. No, they didn't. They were just oppressors. Yeah, come on. There was a lot of Indian white marrying early on. Your aunties didn't tell you to only date Indian girls until the 70s. In the old days, they're like, hey, yeah. Oh, you snagged yourself a white girl? Good for you. Yeah. What's her dad think of that? Let's see what's going on here. Europeans brought over horses too. Yeah. Where would we be without horses? That became our thing. Identified with horses, which we wouldn't even have without the Spanish. Which we really revolutionized travel for everyone. Yeah. They brought over livestock animals too. Wool, chickens, beef, milk. None of that was here before. Yeah. If we're gonna blame them for smallpox, we got to give them the credit for chickens. Big fat white chicken is a lot better than a partridge. Oh, I got me a partridge. Let's fry some partridge eggs. Ugh. Hey, Mom, would you like some ham and loon eggs? Yeah. So I just kind of felt like, I don't know, sometimes when we're talking so much about history and about, colonization, that it can start to sound sort of anti-Jamokaman. And, and then yesterday when we were praising the beauty of, in fact, let's go back to that. So yesterday we were talking about art. Actually, we were talking about Hitler. Speaking of white people. And, not to defend, he was a little conservative for me. But the guy could paint. He painted beautifully. We were looking at some Hitler paintings yesterday and going, they call him a monster and whatever, but as a kid at least, he must have spent a lot of time learning how to paint. And his artwork reflects something in his mind. It makes you kind of reconsider not anything he stood for or anything like that, but just maybe about what the story is about Hitler. And he also painted this, which I was wondering, I was like, that looks an awful lot like Walt Disney World, And I looked up the logo. It's not exactly, but he painted castles in the mountains, beautiful, Mikawadad. As opposed to this weirdo, Manadad. This is ugly. But the education system tells you, no, this is beautiful because it was done by Van Gogh, another German. And it's just this ugly, there's no beauty in that. This is beautiful because it's realistic and it's whatever. So, hey, sweetie. Yeah. You got a call? A call? Okay. Line 2? Yep, line 2. All right, caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Oh, hello! It is I, the Führer.
Oh, is this really Hitler?
That's right. It is I, Adolf Hitler. I wanted to call in and tell you how much I enjoy your show.
You like my show? Oh, wow. Thank you, Hitler. I'm shocked. I guess I thought you were dead.
Oh, you can't believe everything you read, my son.
Yeah, don't call me your son. What can I do for you?
Well, I wanted to call in and tell you I so appreciate you sharing my artwork. I love to paint, and not many people know that I love to paint.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, your paintings are not bad. I kind of wish you had spent more time painting and less time politicking.
Yes, I suppose. Things might have gone differently for me and for a lot of other people too.
Yeah, that's true. So let me ask you, since you're on the line here.
Yes, what would you like to know, Nanaboozhoo?
Well, I was wondering, I saw this thing online where they were comparing you and Walt Disney. And they were saying you were played by an actor, a Roosevelt, in fact. Some guy with the last name of Roosevelt. They were suggesting he was an actor who played you, and then after the war, he played Walt Disney. Is that true?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Of course that's not true. Why do you even go on that internet at all? It's nothing but lies.
Yeah, I know, I suppose. It's not all lies, because you can research and find your painting. It's kind of cool.
Yes. I suppose that much is true, but no, that's ha ha ha. I laugh. I mean, how absurd.
Yeah, okay. But then, I did some more digging. And I was just wondering if you could explain this picture. Is this you from, it looks like you're at Disney World.
Oh, yeah, well, I went there on vacation. It was a vacation. I do not live there. That's absurd.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. But I'm still not going to watch any more Disney movies.
You think I care if you watch Disney movies? I am the Freya.
I don't think you're saying that right.
Freya, I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, me neither. Führer? I don't know. But, yeah, so, anything else I can do for you today? Hitler?
No! Can I do the, Ojibwe word of the day?
Yeah, okay.
Today's Ojibwe word of the day is the Ojibwe word for Jew.
No. You know what? I changed my mind. We already have 2 Ojibwe words. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, it is your show. I will do what you say. If there's nothing, I am nothing, if not one for rules and authority.
Yeah, okay. Listen, man, I gotta go. This joke is wearing thin.
Okay, then. Gigawabamin. Minawa.
Yeah, okay. Gigawabamin, Minawa, Hitler. And, picture of Hitler. And Hitler's painting. I gotta get rid of all these. I don't know, sweetie.
What?
I think I'm playing with fire with these Hitler jokes.
Oh, don't be such a coward.
Yeah. Why am I trying to tease the censors? Anyway, so what's going on here? Brandy Marie's cracking up. Boozhoo, Brandy. Jessica's cracking up too. It's not funny, you guys. There's a Holocaust. Come on, we're natives here. I think if anybody should, maybe be a little sensitive to genocide. I'm just saying. There's some things you should never joke about. Oh yeah, what's that? We'll let you know after you've said the joke. Okay. They always say, some things, it's too soon. You can't joke about that yet. It's too soon. Like 9/11. On 9/12/2001, it was too soon to be making Osama bin Laden jokes. That was too soon. It was too raw. People were still too traumatized. But now you can make an Osama bin Laden joke. No one's going to care. There was a time when you couldn't joke about O.J. Simpson. And then that turned into, okay, so yeah, O.J. Simpson jokes, it's just been played. But, is it still too soon to joke about Hitler? Yeah, Brandy Marie, aren't you the, I think Brandy's like us. She loves Hogan's Heroes. I didn't know how to do a German accent. I was wondering about German accents just for no reason. And so I had to look up Hogan's Heroes just to try to hear what a German accent sounded like. And that show would never get made now because they were making fun of Nazis. But they were making, just a brilliant sitcom, but nobody knows how to joke about serious subjects anymore. It's also preachy now. If they remade Hogan's Heroes now, it would not be funny. There would just be cruel, self-righteous humor against the Nazis, Like in Hogan's Heroes, you were sort of sympathetic to the Nazis, like to Colonel Klink and certainly Schultz. They they were buffoons, and the cool guys were the Americans or whatever, the non-Germans. But they were still humanized. They were good characters, and but they don't know how to write like that anymore. So anyway, I never thought Hitler would call into a show about Ojibwe language, though. Yeah, I know. Oh, I never loved Eva Brown. Eva Brown was a mystery, wasn't even part of my history. She never fit in the scheme of things. Boomtown Rats wrote a song about Eva Brown, or Eva Brown. I don't even know how to say her name. Apparently, Hitler had a girlfriend named Eva Brown, or Eva Brown, or something. And the story goes, I think she killed herself at the same time that Hitler did, allegedly. Were they in a bunker or something? Yeah, I think like they were in a bunker and then they committed suicide or something. At the same time? I don't know how that works. I mean, did she like shoot herself and then and as she was dying, she shoots him? I don't know. Was it pills? It's weird that we don't know for sure stuff like that. It's like where did David Bowie die and where is he buried? Where is Michael Jackson buried? They remember the Michael Jackson funeral? Well, they said right out loud that his body wasn't in the casket there. And then there was a story about how they were afraid that if they told the fans where his body was, that they'd try to dig him up. And so they wanted to keep it in secret. And then there was a rumor, actually after the fact, they decided to cremate him and then scatter his ashes at Neverland. And then they said, we sold Neverland, so obviously we couldn't do that. And it makes you go, how can there not be a straight story about where the body of somebody who actually died is? Unless maybe there's some nonsense going on. Maybe he's not really dead. Just like Hitler. I mean, he's got to be dead by now. But when is it, time? When is it? Can you make fun of the space shuttle blowing up? Can you make fun of John F. Kennedy? Can you make fun of John Lennon getting shot? Some people are still touchy about that. It's like, the day the bad music died. The day some patriot put him down. Jessica says, oh, wow, I just checked now to see what Jim posted. So cool, Jim. Oh, what'd Jim say? Can't have smallpox without cowpox. Can't have cowpox without cows. The disease came from the animals, really. They brought the negative and the positive effects. Yeah. Nothing is just black or white. Everything's both. We have the artist in the Nanaboozhoo crew. Daniel and Jim are great art. Oh, he's shared some artwork. I just checked now to see what Jim posted. So cool. Maybe tomorrow I'll post can I post your artwork, Jim? I'll check it out and tomorrow we'll post it. That'd be kind of cool. We'll have like viewer mail day and we'll like show viewer artwork or something. Or maybe we can just share pictures. I'll just go on Facebook and take people's pictures and violate it that way. Munadud. Ugly. Mikwadud. Beautiful. Well, you know what I think is beautiful, sweetie? Me? Yep. But what do I think is ugly? Statue of Liberty. I don't have a picture of that. I think the Statue of Liberty is ugly, and I think the Mount Rushmore is beautiful. How about that? I know that's not... As a Native American, I'm supposed to hate the Mount Rushmore. Oh, you've defaced our 6 grandfathers. That's what those mountains were called before they carved up the Mount Rushmore faces. They called them the 6 grandfathers. Which makes me wonder, did there used to be 6 faces carved on that thing? And, I'm suspicious about the official story of Mount Rushmore, too. That was carved by one guy and a small team of people with dynamite and chisels. Maybe that Mount Rushmore is way older than we've been told. And maybe the Sioux people called it the 6 grandfathers because there were 6 men carved on there all along, and they just blew up 2 of the faces. Who are those 2 other guys? Maybe they were Indian guys. What if Mount Rushmore used to have Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse standing right next to those other guys? And they came in and they blew up the Indian guys and they rewrote history that framed us as just, Adam and Eve victims of colonization. Because I sometimes wonder about that, like just how primitive were Native Americans before white people came? They never use that term, primitive. But when they talk about Columbus and stuff, they talk about Indians standing around naked. Like weren't even wearing clothes. Was that just the people on the beach who were swimming that day? Or did we really not have knives or the wheel? Or, sounds like we barely had fire. Using flint, arrowheads, just spears and bone, or who knows? Who knows what went on here? I just don't know. I suspect that what I was taught and what I'm in my imagination of what the Wild West was like is probably wrong. I love picturing Dances with Wolves and Tonto. I mean, that's how I wish I could live now. But something tells me that maybe never existed. I don't know. Who built the buildings? Who built all this stuff? What about all these underground tunnels? When did they get the chance? I don't know. Jim makes beautiful sunbathers. He's an artist. Sunbathers. Jim, did you just post pictures of yourself in your swimming trunks again? How come the ladies all go nuts when Jim he posts a picture of himself without a shirt on and they're like, oh, it's beautiful. That's real artwork. It's not artwork, ladies. He just does push-ups. Hikes. I'm so sick of all the drooling over how beautiful, how Mikawadud Jim is. All right, Jim? Yeah, we get it. You're gorgeous. Huh. Weesenie's here. Boozhoo, Weesenie. Had a medicine wheel, but no physical wheel. Yeah. How come we had a medicine wheel, but we didn't have wagons? They always depict us just dragging the old teepee poles. I don't know. And boy, we were really good on those horses immediately. There's no story of the white people training us how to ride horses and feed them. And, we just seem to have a natural instinct to tame horses. Or maybe Columbus didn't bring the horses. Maybe we already had the horses. Because that boarding school era really did a good job of disconnecting us from our history. Because they broke up all our families. And then they also brainwashed all the kids and gave them a different language. And people actually forgot how to speak their native language. After 12 years in an institution, and then also the brainwashing and conditioning to make them hate their Indian heritage, that I think they just were really good at scrubbing the oral history, the traditional. My grandpa wasn't told the true history of our people because he was separated from his grandpa and his grandpa's grandpa. And he spoke a different language. So if we did have swords and guns and horses when white people came, what if we already had that? And what if the history is way different? Apparently the Chinese invented gunpowder. And oh wow, there's a lot of similarities in our cultures between the Asians and the Indians. Some of us even look like that, You ever meet like an Ojibwe girl who looks just... they got really racist terms around here. Oh, she looks Jappy. It's like, shut up with that. Oh, she's Japanese. She's Japanese. But who knows? Maybe there's a history between, contact with the East before Columbus and Leif Erikson and the so-called Vikings. Because even the Viking history is sort of romanticized. We all have kind of a simple, all these giant blonde warrior barbarians with helmets that had bones on them. Actual horns. They looked like Satan himself. Would come in with their shields and swords and kill and pillage and, the other thing. And then go back home. And their descendants? Super sweet, nice Lutherans. But the original Vikings who came to this land and then didn't stay or communicate at all with Anishinaabe, I don't know. Maybe there's more to this story with the Scandinavians than we're taught. And with the Chinese, and who knows? Not me. That's all I gotta say. Going in gekain danzin. Going in gekain danzin. I don't know. You're asking me, will our love grow? Going in gekain danzin. Going in gekain danzin. Natasha, will our love grow?
Going in gekain danzin. I don't know.
You stick around and it may show.
Going in gekain danzin.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha. Okay. Hey. So yeah. Mana dud. Ugly. Oh, he was really ugly. Mikwadad. Beautiful. Mikawadad. I keep saying that wrong. Mikawadad. I knew a girl named Mika. She was beautiful. Was she? I don't remember. Manadad. La 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 la. La la la. You want to get up here, sweetie? Sure. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Guess I wore out everything I have to muse on this morning. History is a mystery. I don't know where they buried Michael Jackson. Hitler appreciates our show. Got mixed feelings about that. Yeah. Oh, you know who else I think is beautiful? What a feeling. I am rhythm now.
Oh, yeah. Jennifer Beal.
Yeah. when I was preparing for the show, I was like, well, let's see who's beautiful. Who's the most beautiful women? I'm trying to think of an example of beauty. And, outside of you. I was like, well, let's see. Marilyn Monroe? No. Cleopatra, couldn't think. And I went, well, yeah, obviously. What a feeling. And I looked up Hoa. She looks really young to me now because she was only in her 20s or whatever. But I remember Jennifer Beals, whatever her name was, in the 80s. Every girl wanted to look like her because she had big old curly hair and she had a big old sweatshirt that would fall off her shoulder and big old doe eyes. And Hoa, she just raised the bar on what cute was. And instead of everybody hating her, because the 80s wasn't really about that, everybody loved her and they wanted to look like her. Girls wanted to look like her and boys wanted their girlfriends to look like her. I remember I took old Deanna Spring to Flash Dance back in the day. Oh, Deanna, she was so cute. Yeah, I know, huh? And but what she didn't know was that afterwards, I kept comparing her to Jennifer Beals, and I was like, oh, wow. I thought you were way cuter until we went to this movie. Now you're you suffer by comparison. It's not fair. What was she, 15 years old? A 15-year-old white girl from Hackensack. And I'm comparing her to Jennifer Beals, the movie star. But I was a shallow American boy. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. You're cute-ish. You're not Jennifer Beals cute. Oh, man. I hope you're not watching this, Deanna. Because you're still cute. I don't care. So is Jennifer Beals, though, huh? Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. All right. Hey, everybody. Miigwech. Ganawabi. Thank you for watching. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Aminawa. One to beam away, sweetie. One to beam away. And there he goes. All right, well, I'm going to come on over, you guys. And I'm just going to let him be out in the time-space continuum for a while. This room's not really that big, so I have to kind of... I could beam him over to Germany. He seems to love Hitler so much. But, I'm coming! Alright, got that, got this. Put on my headphones. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. And now I'm just gonna... It's so far to walk. That's like 2 or 3 steps. I know. I'll just teleport myself. 1 to teleport myself. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Just rocking the Star Trek technology. Manadad. Ugly. Miquadad. Beautiful. You know what I think is beautiful? The fact that you guys come here in the morning just to say, Mino Giga Jabe. It's just so cool that we have this little good morning coffee club. I know it's what every blue-collar crew in every print shop does. They show up 10 minutes early and they hang out in the break room. And they go, oh, hey, did you watch Newhart last night? Oh, that was a good episode. What? Newhart? What year is this? That's what I remember from working in 1988. It was the old days. Back in the days of the grandfathers, where everybody watched the same TV shows, because you only had 3 channels. And so, Thursday night, there'd be the good TV shows like Newhart, and or the Hill Street Blues. And so, Friday morning, you'd get together with your coworkers, and, you'd house the wife and kids. And then he says, oh, did you catch Newhart last night? Oh, yeah, that was a good one, huh? That old crazy guy.
How about Cheers? Oh, that's really funny. But I think we've changed as a people. We don't find the same stuff funny anymore. Which is too bad. You know, some people, we used to connect with each other based on TV shows. You know, I remember me and my grandma was watching the Barney show. She'd be like, hey, hurry up, Barney's about to come on. And what she meant was the Andy Griffith show. But we love Barney so much, we just called it Barney. And, you know, you could kind of tell somebody's personality by if they appreciate the same TV show you do, like Andy Griffith. Weesondy says, I can't stand laugh tracks. Yeah! How did we tolerate that in the old days? It's hard for me to watch Seinfeld now, because it's all laugh track. And, again, I don't want to dog these guys, because without them, there would be no Nanaboozhoo show. But if you watch The Muppet Show, they have just the corniest, slapsticky humor with a laugh track and fake applause. And you go, it's just so not necessary. You're either funny or you're not. And this was how, you saw the death of comedy in the last 5 years. Remember how, like, late night TV talk shows would be funny? You would watch it for a stand-up monologue. You go, oh, look, Jay Leno. He's going to say something about current events and it'll be funny. And the next day you'd get together with your friends. Hey, did you hear what David Letterman said? Oh, that was funny. Well, they lost all their humor when Trump got into office. It just became yelling and soapbox, preaching from the soapbox. And you're like, what happened? Nobody can make jokes anymore. But when the pandemic thing occurred, and you saw like Jimmy Kimmel try to do a show from his house, and it was so not funny. It went, oh, that's right. Without hearing other people laugh, your brain's not getting tricked into thinking something was funny was said. It's, and the spell was just broken. Who's that other guy? I used to think he was so funny, and now I can't stand him. He's the opposite. He's the new David Letterman. Not John Oliver. He used to be on the Daily Show with whatever that guy's name is. I'm glad I'm forgetting his name. But he's so not funny. It's coming to me. My senile brain goes, not John Oliver. Colbert. Thank you, Weesondy. Colbert is Weesondy is like my Data from Star Trek. You can just ask him any question. He'll remember. Or she'll. Weesondy, I always forget if you're a guy or a girl. But anyway, yeah, Colbert. Stephen Colbert. I used to love him. I would watch him on The Daily Show. And then I think he had his own show for a while. Oh, I would laugh and laugh. Now, you see him, he'll do a show from his house. And he's just mean-spirited. Monadud, he's just ugly, crude. And with no laugh track, it's really not funny at all. Stephen Colbert. You go, was he ever funny, or was I just tricked by laugh tracks? Weesondy says, I only identify as hungry. Okay. What's your pronouns? Hungry, starving, need to eat. But yeah. So, something happened. I think Donald Trump just broke their brains. Nobody can make jokes anymore. It became so dangerous. Oh, it was cancel culture. That's what it was. Because in the 80s, if someone got offended, you'd have to write a letter, start a campaign. You'd have to write a letter to the sponsors. Hey, I was offended by something that this comedian said 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to stop buying this product that advertised, and by then
Nobody remembers. Nobody cares. But now you have Adolf Hitler on your show, and the next day you no longer have a show. If you make a joke about, Hollywood people trying to use their children to make themselves look cool by transitioning them, you get canceled. You can't say stuff. So part of me always wants to say those things just to see. It's like, will they really? Or do they just have me scared so I police myself? It's too soon to make fun of the Holocaust. Okay. Well, it's been 500 years since Columbus. So we're making fun of that. Oh, here comes smallpox. Look at me, I got the chicken pox. Talk about ugly. Money dud. So, yeah, I don't know. It's too soon. Don't make fun of the COVID. Oh, I got the COVID. Hey! Yeah, true, I've never met anybody who died from it, but somebody has somewhere. So don't joke about that. It's not funny. Can I make jokes about the common cold? Yeah, that's fine. The flu? Yeah. Sexually transmitted diseases? As long as it's not AIDS. Oh, okay. What else can I make fun of? Who's in charge? Who writes the rules? But yeah, you can't make fun of Hitler. I mean, you can make fun of Hitler, but you can't make him sympathetic. You can't make him cute. Osama bin Laden. People don't hate Osama bin Laden like they should. Like they were told to. Everyone's kind of given up on the 9/11 thing. Remember when everyone was afraid of terrorism? What happened to that? Now it's all, they're afraid of people who don't wear masks. You used to be afraid of people in burqas and, those Islamic face covering things. That used to scare people. Now they get scared if you're not wearing one of them. What's that thing called? That you put on your head and you wrap it around? I don't know. I used to think they were kind of cool until COVID. Now I don't want to wear them. But in Minnesota, this isn't the first winter we've wrapped stuff around our faces. Sunny day, la la la, okay. Mother dad, ugly. Oh, that's really ugly. Oh, that Starry Night, it's an ugly painting. Oh, hijab. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica just says hijab. Yeah, hijabs are kind of cool. But now, it seems all kind of political. And hijab. It should be called a she-job. Because usually women wear them. No, they don't. Men wear hijabs too. I don't know. Throughout the whole 9/11 thing and the war on terror and all the whole seesaw event of, profiling Islamic people, I remember shortly after that, there were some guys who, it was time to pray in the Minneapolis St. Paul airport. So they pulled out their rugs and they all faced east or whatever and they started to pray. And they ended up calling the cops on them. They're like, what are you doing? You're trying to incite a riot? It's like, would you calm down? They're praying. All of us pray before we get on these planes. You evangelicals can just do it a little more subtly. Would you cut it out? Those guys are just praying. You're about to get shot up into an aluminum tube. But then it swung the other way. Now nobody would dare be so politically incorrect as to, profile a Islamic person. In fact, didn't some guy with the first name Ahmed just kill a bunch of people in Colorado? And we're like, yep, there you go, another white man You're like, wait, no, he's not white. And again, I'm sorry, white people, jeez. Just right away assume, well, it's probably a Trump supporter. Did you notice? He was balding on top. He was a white Trump supporter. Like, no, neither on. Jessica did all hijacker. You make a 9/11 jokes now, Daniel? Oh, Daniel goes, I said it first. Hijacker. Yeah, remember when I was growing up, they used to have a lot of movies about airplanes getting hijacked. And it was always somebody from the Middle East, And we didn't know what that meant. Was that guy from Egypt? Or Iran? What's the difference? Who knows? But now, if they made Die Hard now, the terrorist would have to be a white male Trump supporter. They would never allow that to be a person of color. When are they going to make the movie where Native Americans rise up? How come we never get to be the terrorists? We'd be the good ones, Going out in our poaching pickups with the spotlight. All our illegal guns. Anyway, well, you guys, looks like it's that time again. So happy to see the Boozhoo crew. It's Tuesday. And I love you till Tuesday. Love you till Tuesday. Love you till Tuesday. But I watch what you do Wednesday. That's a Bowie song. Look who's hiding in the apple tree, clinging to a branch. Don't be afraid, it's only me, hoping for a little romance. If you lie beneath my shade, I'll keep you nice and cool. Oh, beautiful baby. There's a lot of lyrics to this. I was very lonely till I met you on Sunday. My head's in a whirl and I'll love you till Tuesday. Love you till Tuesday. Okay, I gotta go. Giga waba min minowa. I will see you again. And when to teleport away.